Hello everybody, it's Zack Rhodes for the weekly update. A few things today. Should be a short update, but we'll see. First of all, schedule for this week should be back to normal. Passover ended yesterday. I'm sorry that the latter half of last week was devoid of any Katamaris or Final Fantasies. Life happened. So yeah, this week everything should return back to normal. We should be getting back to Final Fantasy X and Katamari. Hopefully we'll be streaming. I'm gonna see about that because I'm really tired. I'm possibly sick, or maybe it's just the weather, or a bunch of stuff that we'll talk about at the end of the update for those of you who just want to hear what the schedule is. But yeah, videos should return. We should be doing Vesperia and Ocarina of Time Randomizer this week. So yeah, that's that. As for other things, so last week, or the past bunch of weeks, I've talked about this either in the cancer vlog or other things, but to start off, one thing I hate so much about like my cancer treatment and just everything surrounding it is that it makes me a liar. And not that I lie to you on purpose, but I say things like, well, we're done with this, and then like days later something comes up. So I talked about at the end of the vlog, I think, and maybe in the weekly update, over the past couple of weeks I've been having like weird problems with numbness in my face, on my arm, my leg, that were new. One sec. My hair is bothering me and I need to comb it while I'm talking to you. So we've been having like weird problems with that, and it got to a point where like people online started complaining. No, I did not have a stroke, by the way. But it got to a point where my oncologist started getting concerned. So we went in on Thursday in the middle of the holiday to get a PET scan, and to get an IV for it. You can't really see it anymore, but, well, I guess you can see it. It's a little bit discolored. They had to poke me twice. You can see the two dots there, if my camera will focus. Yeah, it looks like I was bitten by a snake or a vampire or something, but they had to poke me twice to get the IV in to give me the contrast for the PET scan, and one more on my arm here, because neither of them were drawing blood. They were you could only put stuff in. So yeah, so my hand was swollen and everything. It was a bad time. But yeah, 3 IVs, and that's how the day started on Thursday. Luckily, the PET scan results showed nothing new. In fact, everything looked better than the last one, which is great. Like the area on the rib and everything else was lighter, which means that like the continuing effects of the radiation from January and December is still killing everything off. But the fact remains that like I've been having this numbness, and also I've just been having a lot harder trouble moving. Everything is creaking and painful. So we talked to the doctor, and they don't think it's related to anything from the cancer growing. But this is around the point where people who have gotten the immunotherapy that I got 2 years ago, you know, the one that almost killed me in several different amazing ways, this is around the point where people start getting long-term side effects from the immunotherapy. You know, half the battle with cancer isn't actually combating the disease, it's cleaning up the messes that the treatments make. Cancer doesn't knock your hair out. That's the chemo. Cancer doesn't mess up your immune system. Well, it can actually. It depends on the cancer, but like cancer doesn't necessarily kill your blood or make your intestines stop working or any of the other things. That's all It's all the chemo and the immunotherapy and whatever else they do. Like 90% of the side effects from the point that you get your treatment started. You know, whatever leads to you discovering you have cancer is its own thing, but all, like, everything after that is all the treatments. So there's short-term side effects, which are terrible, but there are also long-term side effects that just pop up. And they can pop up a lot later because your body was attacked by something that it doesn't understand, and it can either have triggers or just latent things. So in this case, what was the dinutuximab? I think it's the immunotherapy. I think that's what he said. One of the latent side effects is neuropathy, which literally, I mean, it just means nerve pain, but like your body just starts hurting for no reason. Like your nerves just start saying ow. So they think that's what's going on because that seems to happen with a lot of patients that get that. It's never caused numbness in people before, but the numbness is related to nerves, so it's possible. So they're going to be starting me on, hopefully once the insurance company gets its head out of its butt and authorizes it, I think Lyrica, which is a nerve blocking medication. You know, it's one of those things, it's like, along with the Celebrex that I take, it's one of those things that you see on commercials for old people. I mean, I've always told you guys that I'm old, but I have proof. I have proof. I take old person medications. So yeah, I'm just hoping that the Lyrica doesn't give any negative side effects, because we all know how these things work with me. If it'll have a bad side effect that's rare, Dovey will get it. But most likely it's just going to make me gain more weight, which is not going to be fun because I'm already pretty heavy. People say, Dovey, you don't look like it. It's because I show you, like, my head. My weight is all around my stomach and my legs. Also, I'm tall, so it distributes itself better. But for somebody who has had spinal surgery, being overweight in any way, shape, or form is just like a constant pain. So, like, gaining even more weight than that and starting to actually look fat will just not be fun. But, yeah. To be like normal weight, I still need to lose like 80 pounds. It'd be crazy. But yeah, so that's just going to be a fun addendum to the spring, because, you know, we don't need, you know, a time when I can, you know, go out and do stuff without some drama happening to me, right? Right. So, yeah, so that's the fun that Dovey's going to be dealing with for the next little while. I didn't really draw or get anything this week, so I don't have anything to show off there. But I make mistakes. I mean, mistakes with other people is one thing, but I make personal mistakes. And 9 times out of 10, that personal mistake is optimism. You know, I take news like, okay, now you're in remission, and now we're done with giving you weird chemos and radiations and stuff, and I say to myself, okay, now I can start picking up the pieces. It's been 6 years already, you know, since we started this, and a couple of years since I was technically in remission, and about a year since I was officially in remission, and a few months since they actually decided to stop giving me therapy. I think now I can start picking up the pieces, and then side effects come along, and they're like, nah, man. We're gonna make it so that you can't stand up for a week. How about that? Huh? So, and normally that doesn't bother me because I usually just flow with the punches. But when I get that optimism, and then I'm reminded that it's like that thing in Homer's office in The Simpsons, you know, don't forget you're here forever. That's kind of like you know, what the cancer and the cancer therapy and now the side effects are like. They're like that sign, just plaster behind my room over there. Just don't forget you're here forever. So yeah, this is just something I'm not going to be rid of, it seems. And it every time, especially over the past couple of years, every time something happens to remind me that this is just not going to go away. You know, even if the cancer is dead, I'm just going to keep getting side effects, apparently. And I have to keep watching for side effects. You know, even the littlest things I have to report to the doctor now. But, you know, it's like every time, like over the past couple of years, that I'm, you know, given one of these things and reminded that I'm just not going to escape from that anymore. It's like, it's harder. It's a lot harder for me. It was like really hard at the very beginning when I had no idea what was going on. There was no routine. I was just possibly going to die from the cancer itself. And then, you know, the long haul in between where it was just waiting, essentially. It's like that was a little easier, the in-between time, but like at the end now, I wanna move on already, but it's not gonna happen. At least not for a while. And it's really hard. There's just a lot of stress involved in being well from the cancer, but now having to worry about the fallout of side effects popping up of medications that I took for 1 week 2 years ago. Or, you know, worrying about my, the rods and screws in my back popping out if I get into any sort of, you know, trauma of some sort, or just move the wrong way and having to get surgery there, or anything else that would, you know, require immediate attention that isn't even related to the cancer anymore. Just, you know, things that have turned into time bombs that now I just have to worry, when is the shoe gonna drop? On top of that, you know, now worrying about, like, you know, not just myself, but there's other members of my family who are having their own health problems, or, you know, people that I know are having their own health problems, and I just say, just makes day-to-day life very hard. And you know, at this point, you know, people just see that I'm in remission, and they don't really understand that, like, it really doesn't mean that I'm done. You know, remission just means, okay, now you have to do other stuff with your life. And it's, I mean, the transition, even if I was just like done, the transition would still be difficult. But, like, you know, people want me to go back to school now, and people keep asking me if I'm dating, and it's just you know, 90% of my friends from, like, high school and middle school are married with kids now. It's crazy. I mean, we're almost 30. It's, you know, generally normal at this point, but it's just not going to happen. For a variety of reasons, I don't see that happening with me. But, yeah. Like, how can I start up again when, you know, as soon as I do anything productive, something's gonna come up that's gonna require me to try out some new medication. They'll probably give me horrible side effects or something, or just require, you know, a long time of observance and seeing, like, whether it's gonna work or not. I don't know. But anyway, this is what plagued me over the latter half of last week, when we decided, you know, from the point we decided I was going to get the PET scan, and immediately went in, you know, a couple days later. Yeah, just, you know, sitting all day in the hospital just waiting with poked 3 times with an IV because that didn't work, and then saying, yeah, you know, the cancer is fine, but yeah, this is probably the thing that you hate, the worst part of your treatment rearing its ugly head again. And I know that a lot of people have harder lives than me. I get to essentially just sit around all day playing video games and drawing, and a lot of people I know, you have to just work and work and work by the, you know, just slaving away just to get anything. And I know that I am pampered compared to them, but it doesn't make it easier on me. I know that I don't have the worst life, but man, it's like I get hit always when I'm like right when I'm like about to make the decision of like, okay, I'm moving on, you know, this is it, this is where the new beginning comes, and it's like, nope, remember that. It's like clockwork. It's always something. It's always something. And it gets harder and harder each time to work with it, because I know that it should just be done already. Like, we're past this. Anyway, you know, one thing that de-stresses me is the video games and the art, which is why I keep doing them. I enjoy the things that I draw, and I enjoy the things that I record. You know, even if, you know, in the grand scheme of things, I'm like, have an audience of 20, which is actually a lot. It's like the size of a class. In the grand scheme of things, you know, online and Discord and everything else, I'm not big or special or anything. In the places that I have, you know, that I hang out in, you know, I'm not the top dog of anything. I don't think I'm even the top dog of my own server. I understand that. You know. That's my goal has never really been to be that anyway. I don't think I can be that. I'm not a dynamic personality. I sit around complaining for 20 minutes when I say I'm going to make a short update. But I personally enjoy the drawing and the things that I do. And there's a few people that like it too, and I very much appreciate that. Very much appreciate everyone who encourages me, even when I don't respond well or properly to it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking forward this week to getting back to drawing though, because the past couple of weeks, like, I couldn't really even do that because my hand was hurting too much. So I'm hoping that since I took a 2-week break essentially, and just chilled, that it's gonna be easier, because I don't make good art in like the grand scheme of things, but I make art that I like, and that's really important. It's important to just do things or make things that you like, and if you can't really make something, then find something that you do enjoy. Just stick to it, you know? Anyway, thank you very much for listening. I'm sorry this was depressing, but at least we get to listen to the leaf blowing, right? Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye.